Welcome to the Define You Radio podcast, where class is always in session. Get ready for the life lessons, tips, and stories to help you define your life. And now, your host, the drill sergeant with love, Valencia Griffin Wallace.
To Define You Radio Live. Yes, I am your host, Valencia Griffin Wallace. Define You Radio is sponsored by the Define You Queens Movement. Yay! So I want to introduce my fabulous co-host, Queen LaVon.
Hello.
And Queen Shannon.
Hello.
So in tonight's session, y'all really got to get y'all pens and papers. Go ahead and like, love, share the video out. And today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic. So pens and papers ready. Class is now in session. We are talking about self-esteem, self-love, self-worth, everything involving self and how it affects relationships. This includes your friendships, parenting, everything else. So you guys go ahead and chime in on wherever you see in this video. Leave your comments. One of the queens will catch it, and you never know, we might answer your question live. So with that being said, queens, this is what I had to Google today to find out the difference between self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth. Because I think in today's society, we use those words interchangeably. Yeah. But basically, it all comes down to self. So self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. Mm-hmm. Self-confidence is how you feel about what you could do, your abilities. Mm-hmm. But I think we use that way wrong. Yeah. And self-worth is kind of like really close to self-esteem. We'll just say they're brother and sister, but confidence is a cousin. So tonight's show, we may use them interchangeably, but y'all get it that there is a difference. And I was like, okay, Valencia, why is there a difference, right? So I could be confident about who Valencia is, or let me rephrase it. See, here we go. I could have high self-esteem. I could be like, Valencia is the bomb.com, and then not be confident in what I do or my abilities, or vice versa. I could, go through writing a book and publishing it and be confident in my ability to do that and still have low self-esteem. So I just wanted that clarity for the audience and stuff. So what are you guys' thoughts before we really jump head first in tonight's session?
You can go ahead first, LaVon.
I like that, and I totally agree about the self-confidence. People do get that kind of confused because they think, some people think more that it's an air about you, that person looks like they're confident or they walk. But I think when you are confident in your ability, it does relates back to your ability to use your skills. It's what you know. How can't nobody argue with you about what you know. It's like you can try to tell me, but when I know what I know, you can't, it's like you can't shake me. They can come up against you, but they can't really shake you. So I think when you are confident in what you know, there is something air about you, because you kind of walk with your chest up, out a little more. Your head is high, you got that little arch in your back, because it's like, I know what I know, I know my stuff. You can't nobody argue with you about it. So I do think it helps with that. But I think the more confident you are in your abilities, that it can help boost your self-esteem. My thought.
Queen Shannon.
Absolutely. I have to say 100% agree. But to add to that, there is one self that I think we often leave off, and that's self-image. We leave that self-image off because the self-image is absolutely the foundation of it all. Because how you see yourself is going to determine how much confidence you have. Is going to determine, what you how you feel, or all of those things. So that self-image, to me, is the primary start. How we see ourselves. And so, like I said, I agree with everything LaVon said. But just to add that, I think self-image is one that we definitely have to add on to the whole list of self.
I love that. See, we adding another. Self has layers. And I think people don't realize that part, because we'll take the self off. It's just easier to sum it up by saying confidence, like she's confident in herself or so on and so forth. But self-image is definitely part of it. And, just to kind of talk about my own battle with that. When I originally lost weight, we talking about 10 years ago, y'all have seen the pictures. If not, go through the recesses of my timeline. But I still had this image when I looked in the mirror of me as still being big. And at my lightest weight, I was 135, which was actually too small for me. But I think I went so hard because I still had this self-image when I looked in the mirror as Big Valencia. And I do think, it kind of went hand in hand almost with the self-esteem. My self-esteem was higher than my image of myself at that point in time. So I just want to add that. Has there ever been a time where you guys have felt, had issues with your self-image, self-esteem, anything dealing with self that you would like to share?
I can feel exactly what you're saying because I've experienced that. And I think most people that lose weight have a hard time dealing with that because I actually had to be told, like, okay, it is really time to start buying smaller clothes. I think we hold on to it because although you're now, you may now be in a 14, you still wearing those size 18 clothes because I don't know. It's like when we see ourselves, although we know that the clothes are bigger and fitting more, it's like we haven't mentally, our minds hadn't gotten to that place where it's saying you are smaller now. So you have to really look in the mirror. So that's why I like what Queen Shannon brought up about the self-image, because it doesn't matter if you've lost, 100 pounds. If when you still look in the mirror, you see that fat girl or that thick girl, you're going to still have issues, which we know we have people that deal with bulimia, anorexia, that's, that have those eating disorders is because what they see, that self-image, is the mind hasn't made the connection that, girl, you've lost weight. And then on the other side, you see people that's done gained 100 pounds and still trying to wear that size.
Yeah.
Queen Shannon.
We're going to leave that.
So you're just going to drop the mic on that one.
and walk away.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I actually talk about this in my book, where my self-image was, honestly, I saw myself as this really ugly person. I was not cute. I had my birthmark. For me, it was who I saw was something that nobody would ever want, something that nobody would ever pay attention to. So that was my foundation of all the other acts and all the other things that I did because of what I saw in me, of what I saw me to be. Now, some people can say, well, my self-esteem was honestly, and from experience, that's a front. It's a front. I did that to make other people believe that. There were people that would say, oh, I never thought you cried. Oh, you always carried yourself like you just knew. But at the end of the day, when I got home and I looked at myself, I would tell myself, you are so ugly. You are this, you are that, because that's what I saw of me. That was the person I saw me to be. So, the self-esteem, honestly, it's to the point, especially in this day and age, that we can mimic what self-esteem should look like.
Yeah.
We can mimic what self-confident can look like. We can mimic those things because we'll look at somebody and, oh, well, they're so confident in themselves. I can do that to make people believe that. Oh, they're so focused and their self-esteem, they carry themselves with their head high. I can copy that. But you cannot trick your self-image, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, there's nobody left but you and you. And you have to answer to you for what you really think about you.
That's real good.
Y'all dropping mics this early. Look, I say this early, but last time we went almost 2 hours. Okay. So my next question or topic I want to hit is how you feel about yourself, how did that affect your friendships and then relationships? Queen Shannon, you go first.
So friendships. Now let me just make sure. Are you asking on my end? Was I a good friend, not loving myself, or can someone not be a good friend to me, or does it matter either way?
Both.
Okay. To be honest, when I wasn't loving myself, if I can be real, I can't say that I had many friends. If I'm going to be real, I can't say. And again, it was because of more of me. I secluded myself. I didn't think that I was good enough. I didn't think that I was the in girl. So for me, I pulled away, and found myself always by myself, and that was me. On the flip side, do I believe that someone can be a good friend not loving themselves? My answer would have to be no. I would say no, because so let's use us for example. I don't think that I could be if I didn't love myself, I would probably sit here right now and depict different things about each of you beautiful queens. And while I'm smiling in your face and telling you, oh, you're beautiful, you're this, the back of my mind is saying, these heifers think they better than me. They think they got it. So there's always going to be competition unknown to you. There's going to be, and you might not even know about it. You might not even understand what's going on. But for me, it's going to be competition. And eventually it seeps out into all out, altercations of sorts between us, because I was never true to who I was with you all. And even if I don't love myself, I should have been, as a friend, you should be able to say, hey, y'all, I really don't feel confident in who I am. I don't feel like I'm as pretty as y'all. I don't feel, but that's not what's done. There are many friendships that I know of where you sit and you talk with them and all of this, but because they're thinner than them, and the boys pay more attention to them, or whatever the case is, there's this slight bit of hatred and a slight bit of, of contentment towards this person. So do I think you can be a real, true friend not loving yourself? Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, you don't know how to be a friend to somebody else. Again, if you can't be a friend to yourself, friend you, and then you know what a friend looks like and what it feels like to somebody else.
Hashtag amen. Friend you, then you could friend me. Those are the rules. Very interesting, Queen Shannon. I love the realness and rawness, and we proposed that question in one way, shape, or form in our inbox, which really be going off if people only knew the inboxes we share. But Queen Lavon, what is your opinion on that?
Well, I had sort of a different, I was on the opposite end of it, because I felt that people can love or friend someone and even be genuine with it and not fully love themselves. Now, of course, there's a capacity. You have this capacity to love, and we love people differently based on our relationships with them. The love that I have for my kids and my spouse, are totally different. But I look at it as, even with my kids, I look at that I have a love for them, that it transcends, my love for myself, because it's something that happens when you carry that child. And we hear people that say this, that, you know, that they don't even love themselves. They felt like they've never had love, but you will see a woman or a young girl want to have a child. Am I frozen?
No.
The screen's frozen, that's why. But that they would want to have a child because they feel like they need something to love, because that love is going to give them life, or that can help breathe into them. So I think that we can love people and have relationships with people because sometimes we need those things to give us a picture, to resurrect something that's inside of us, because it's just something about a parent. When you have that child, almost, it doesn't matter how you feel about yourself. You feel like I would
now
you're for
frozen.
this child, for this little human being that I've just had. Really? And now I see y'all moving.
Yeah,
So
you good now. You're good now.
And then I see y'all moving. The whole time I was talking to y'all were just still. But now, I see people that, you know, have this love that they have for their kids, you know, is something, it transcends what even you can feel about yourself. So
but
that's how I feel.
That's different. How you love your child. Well, let me rephrase my statement. That's different in like 90% of the situations, because we do see incidences on the news. But let's say the normal person, you're going to love your child, because at the time that I got pregnant and gave birth to Cameron, I didn't know Valencia enough to love her. You know, I had a lot of issues with all versions of self, from confidence to esteem to image to work to everything else. And so when I had Cam, it don't matter how you feel about you. You gotta, you know, I don't want to say you gotta love him, because it was a natural love. And in fact, I said before, like, I didn't know what love was until I had him, but it made me open up to other feelings. Now, when it comes to dealing with friends, because I've dealt with petty women throughout my years of life, and I've dealt with especially during the weight loss and the changes in my life, like, you could tell people that take your growth personal have self issues. Like, if you are not I don't want to say congratulating, but I do feel like friends should do that. But when people say things that make it seem like, you know, something, you had some magical power to do something, instead of it just being, you know, a quality of self, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, with starting a business, or with speaking or writing, or with being a parent, or whatever else. It's not that, I mean, yeah, I am pretty magical, but it's not like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky because of this or because of that, you know, where you could hear like the contempt in the back of their throat. Because you know me, I'd be like, well, what you mean? With the hand and everything. What you mean by that? I've had somebody say, I won't name them because we are doing Facebook Live and this will be on the podcast, but I've had somebody say, you know, my life is easier. The things I could do is easier because I have a husband. But it was more like, it's easy for you because you have a husband. Hold on. I'm 42. I ain't been married 42 or 20 years. You know, but you could hear like the in their voice. So like, don't downplay my growth, because it took a while for me to love that self that is Valencia. You know, when I lost weight, you know, it was a lot of comments around then. I lost the physical weight, but I had to lose some other physical weight that was on other people. When I lost the excuses, and when I didn't feel low on myself anymore, that really shows you who your friends are. When you start to love you, that's my 5 cents for I go.
Absolutely.
Queen Lavon just looked like she busting at the seams. Go ahead.
Girl. I mean, and y'all know how I feel about selfishness. And that's one of the things that I realized, like you said, when you learn to love yourself, I mean, genuinely love yourself, and you are confident. Before that, like Shannon said, it starts with the self-image. When you look in the mirror and you love that woman, that man, when you look in the mirror and you love that person that's in the mirror, you begin to have this mindset that, you know what, you have that I can mindset, that I am mindset, you know, that I will be mindset, that I can do mindset, you know, your whole mentality change. And
Absolutely.
there is something about, even I think even your sound change, the way you speak to people, the way you interact with people is going to change. And like you said, those people, those friends that not genuinely, that's when they're going to show their true colors, because those are the people that are going to have those side remarks. And I think we kind of talked about this yesterday. They're not going to be able to support you or to receive from you, because they always got that, but I know when, you know, I knew you when, or you ain't all that because you used to do this, you know. Oh yeah, it's like you said, I've had that. Oh, you got a husband, so you don't know what it's like to struggle. Don't tell me about my story. Don't tell me what I know how to do, what I can understand. You ain't walked in my shoes. You ain't did my dance. You ain't fought my fight. You ain't cried my tears. So you can't tell me what it's like or what I've had to experience. And so you are not going to make me not like the person that I'm looking in the mirror seeing.
That part.
You have to keep reminding yourself that that person in the mirror that you like, that you love, you have to continue to fight for that person, regardless of what those people say. But the beautiful thing about it is that when you do get to that place where you genuinely are loving yourself and you recognize those people that like you said, you could tell it by the tone in their voice, you know, that little look. Or see, I'm a big body language person, so I look at the body. I don't care if your face is smiling, but if that body is tensed, I know you had to struggle to get that thing up out of you.
Yes, God.
So if I look at the body language, so you look at that and you'll be okay with letting them go. But it's like you make room for God to send you those people that's going to be like, I was waiting for you to get there, girl. You know, that's the girl I wanted to, and I wanted to know.
Because
so,
you guilty. Or side note, Queen Shannon, did you hear that bass?
I heard it.
You heard there, okay? Because
I heard it.
She was going in. She was
going. That slight growl. It was a slight growl, like there. Just a little.
I look at their body tense.
Okay.
That body tense. I was like, okay, let me relax my body. Let me relax my body.
We
don't want them kind of problems. Everything is okay.
Okay. It's true. People need to start checking people. Look at people.
Look at her.
She ready.
Gangster coming out. I'm sorry.
She ready.
Look at it. No, I mean you because we know, like you said earlier, Queen Val. People, no, I think Shannon said it. They could put on that self-confidence mask. They could put on that self-love, that self-esteem mask. They could put on that, you know, genuine I love you smile. You know, that professional you get when you see that's the bill collector on the phone, but you put that smile in your voice. So that
I don't do that. I don't do that.
Or if you work in an office, you know, like I do, you know, it's some people you got to smile before you pick up that phone. You be like, I'm gonna you do that before you pick up the phone. But look at that body language.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't even know what to
I mean, I agree with it though. I agree.
I roll my eyes at my phone several times. Yeah. And I'd be like, psh. Ain't no smile though. Ain't no smile.
Period.
Ain't no smile. Like if it's important, they gonna text or leave a voicemail. Jesus, I'm working on this.
I know that's right.
Okay. Question: what are some ways people with, you know, a low sense of self ruin a relationship? Because I've seen people do it, like jealousy, because you don't love you then how can you have a happy, healthy relationship? Because you always, you jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Shannon.
Well, here's the way I see this. If love is not, I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this, because there can only be one dominant emotion in you at a given point. And if jealousy is dominant there, then there is no love. And that's just simple. Jealousy does not equate to love by any means. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, so for the fact that there would even be jealousy, that alone is an indicator that there is no love there, that there's animosity or something else that's causing ill feelings, but love in itself is not there. First of all, I mean, if we're going to go biblical, the Bible tells you that love casts out all fear. Jealousy in itself is fear of what somebody else has that you don't have, or fear that somebody will get to something before you get to it. So if there is that fear there, there's no way for love to be there.
Look at Shannon coming with the scripture. Well, she didn't say the actual scripture, so I don't know if that.
A perfect love cast out all fear. Okay, is that better for you, baby Jakes?
That's what book? You know how Queen LaVon do it. She'll go look. Queen LaVon probably looking it up right now to give us the
scripture. She got you covered. She got you covered. The gospel gangster down here got you.
Look, 4:18.
See, there you go. 1 John 4:18. She had it.
Don't be amen and Queen Shannon throwing. I don't even know what I was about to say. Jesus. Queen LaVon, when you look at like domestic violence relationships that people have, do you think the perpetrator, or what are your thoughts as far as the perpetrator having self-esteem issues, and that's why they feel like, I need to dominate you, I need to hit you, or something of that nature?
I'm gonna say it can go either way. It doesn't mean that they necessarily have to have low self-esteem, because not every person that's jealous has low self-esteem. Some of them just have a spirit of greed. They don't want anybody to be better than them. They have a need to want more. Some people just have a spirit of greed.
Some people just got a nasty woman spirit.
Did you just really go color purple on us?
Wait, look, I was trying to see if y'all was going to catch it. Jesus. I was trying to see if y'all was going to catch it. Like,
oh Lord,
nasty woman spirit. I'm gonna start saying that for real. Because
my God,
all day. Like, I mean, I see people just for no reason be hateful. So why would I want to be around you when you got that hashtag nasty woman spirit or nasty man?
True.
Yeah,
this is true.
Just saying. Queen LaVon, what is more important? How you treat others or how others treat you? I know I saved it for her. I saved that one for her.
I want some of that one too when she's done.
I would have to say how I treat others, because I mean, you go back to the Bible, it said treat people, you're going to treat people how you want them to treat you.
Scripture. Put the scripture on it.
It tells you to love your neighbor like you love yourself. So the way I feel that if I'm treating you with respect, I'm treating you with loyalty, with honesty. If I'm treating you right, one, I'm showing you how a level of my standard, really. I'm going to show you my standard of how I want to be treated. And I use an example. Those people, I mean, we are, we communicate a lot within our chat. And so we've learned a lot about each other. So if pretty much, if I'm having an event, if I say, y'all, I'm having an event, I want you all to come. Most people know they're going to ask me, I can actually say this happened for my birthday party. So do we need an evening gown, or do
you
we
had a birthday party
last year? My road to 45.
We got no invites.
I ain't even saying nothing because we on live right now. We gonna deal with
I said it. I said it.
inbox. This why
I said it.
we can't be doing live shows. How you gonna just drop that during a live show? I saw the book. I didn't see no birthday party.
No, there was a whole journey. 45 lives that I talked about it on every live, that I was having a birthday party for my 45th birthday.
Go ahead with your explanation.
It had to do with the president 45 that I was trying to make 45 great again.
How we miss all that mess from last year?
Both of us missed it.
I don't know.
One of us would have got it.
Well, you have to think it was April.
We're gonna talk about this in the chat.
Our relationship.
We're gonna talk about this
at the beginning stages of our relationship, so y'all might not have paid that much attention.
Then she gonna try to throw it on us.
Yeah, she tried it.
I don't even remember the comment you were making.
But it's just, people know you by the standard that you set. So like they were jokingly, but they were serious, because they was like, so do we need to get a ball gown? You know, am I gonna need a prom dress? But that's what people just know me. That's me. So I think if I treat people in a certain manner, I'm also telling them what my standard is. Because if I talk to you any kind of way, I mean, you're going to be like, you know, that comes out your mouth, then you really don't care what you said. But when I treat you with respect, it's going to be kind of hard not to come at me any other kind of way or incorrect. So I would say the way I treat people is important, because that's going to give them an indication of how I want to be treated.
This was a show just like okay, we got to focus. Go ahead. We're going to touch on that birthday party issue offline. It's going to be a 3-way call after the show. Like, what had happened? I don't have ball gowns, but I could have rented one.
Right.
I'm in my feelings.
So I'm going to say
tenseness in the body.
She tight. I'm gonna say, I would have to say both. How I treat others and how they treat me. And I'll tell you, it's got to be both, because here's the thing. LaVon made a good point as far as how you treat others. You love your neighbor as you love yourself. Absolutely. So, yes, how I treat you is a reflection of how I want you to treat me. So, at the end of the day, you teach people how to treat you. You teach them.
True.
But sometimes, as much as you can give, and you would think that people would respect how you treat them and how they, you reply to them and things of that nature. They don't always do that. And what has happened all too often in this world is people take advantage and get taken advantage of, because I want to treat people so this way. I want to treat people this way. And then we complain, well, I treat everybody this way and I do this and that. And then they always give me their butt to kiss. Well, honey, because you taught them that it was okay to give them your butt to give you their butt to kiss. You told them that it was just perfectly fine to always put me last. You told them it's perfectly fine to not give me the love that I gave you. You told them that I don't matter. I mean, it's to me, it's both, because I have to teach you how to love me. So if you can't see, it's just, to me, it's the same way with children. I can't tell my son, baby, I want you to love yourself. You got to grow up and understand that you have to love yourself. But yet I allow him to see mommy getting mistreated by people, being taken advantage of. How is that telling him or even showing him what self-love is about? I have to instill and let him see, baby, when what you bring into the table is not enough for them, or what they bring, and love is no longer being served, as Nina Simone said, then you get up and you walk away. You don't keep standing there because you say, I treat people, I'm going to treat people, and how I treat people matters. Yeah. I'm going to love you like I love myself. So first and foremost, it says, as I love myself. That means I got to start here. And that means I got to start here. And I'm not going to let you run over me. I'm not going to let anybody treat me any kind of way and still at the end of the day say, well, I did right by them. Yes, I did right by you, but there was a certain point where you had to understand that this was not who you wanted to play with in those kind of games. I'm not that person. I will shut it off and shut it down quickly. So it's got to go both ways, because I'm going to watch how you reciprocate what I've poured into you. I'm paying attention, not saying I'm doing stuff to get something back, but when I do, I expect you to at least be appreciative and respectful. I'm not asking you to do exactly what I did, but understand I'm showing you this is the kind of love, or this is the kind of respect that I would expect from you because I gave it. But you don't get to do that too many times. You don't get to just take what I've given you and throw it to the side too many times. Amen. So yeah, how I'm treated and how you treat all matters in the world of self-love. Because outside of that, you're going to find yourself hurt many times. How many times do we see these posts where they say we the strong people and we always looking out for somebody, but nobody checks on the strong person? Why you keep checking on the same people? Why? Why? There comes a point where you need to step back and say, I'm sorry, I matter more. I love you. And the phone works both ways, inbox and all, whatever it is, however it is you check on them, it works both ways. So that's why I say both sides of this thing got to work. It's not just one-sided, it's both sides. 16.
It had been a while since Shannon has went on a show. And I think that had been repressed because she just like all right in between her eyebrows was tight. Great.
That honey.
I'm just saying.
The emphasis on that honey. That was the cue that she was finna go over the edge.
She was. It was close. Yeah. She was like,
really, Levon?
I'm just saying.
That honey.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know my response, but I would say, like off the top of my head, without me thinking, I would say the way people treat me. Because I know me. So I would say the way people treat me is going to, and I know it's backwards and people may say, you shouldn't be reactive and all of those things, but how you treat me will determine how I treat you, or rather I deal with you. And those are just my honest feelings. Side note, I love that Queen Shannon said about a phone working both ways, because I tell people I've had the same number since before Hurricane Katrina. And if you watching this and don't know when it was, Google it. It's so I didn't have the same number for that long. It's only going to change when Oprah call, but at least I'm honest. So it's not like I'm being brand new. I'm being brand honest. Okay, so let's say y'all have a friend with low self-esteem. Like it's not, she's not on petty level, but she's on excuse me, kind of like woe is me, my life sucks level. How would you handle that? Would you try to help build her esteem, or would you jump ship? Like, what would you do now? Like I said, she's not on a petty level, but it's always like that woe is me level. Thoughts, Queen Levon?
Now, for me, I'm not one, I don't do good with needy. Now, I can recognize, sometimes when you first get in a relationship, you understand that sometimes people, that they have self-esteem issues, understanding their value and their worth, their confidence levels may be low. I think I'm enough sunshine that I spread enough that, at some point it's going to become contagious. That's what I like to think about it. I always like to say, if you're standing there with a candle, I have a candle, mine is shining bright. If I lean over and light yours, it didn't take anything from me, but it just allowed us to illuminate a little brighter. So I feel like if I lean over and I light your candle and you keep blowing it out.
You was lighting my candle until the whole birthday comment, but continue.
She's so petty.
I am petty. Petty.com.
But
Oh my God.
Queen Lavon is disrespectful.com. Go ahead.
Now this is true.
But I'm just, because you will have those people, you're steady pouring into them, and it's like they're taking the cup and pouring it out. You ain't even, I'm lighting your candle, you blowing it out. I'm lighting your candle, you blowing it out. Because there are some people that are going to be stuck in that, woe is me, that needy, that I don't do good with needy and clingy. That's all I have to say.
Some people just want a amen corner for their mess. They want validation on their mess. And to me, like I could still be your friend. I'm gonna do my best to speak life and build you up, but what I won't do is let you take me with you. Because if you around people who got that nasty woman, what I said earlier, nasty woman
spirit,
spirit, or everything, like life just sucks for you and everything else, and I'm gonna feel like am I part of the problem? Because what I'm not, like what's going on? Like, do you hold all your BS till you get to my phone or my house or whatever else? Like, I don't want to dismiss people's problems, but I think I will be a better friend from a distance. Because eventually you're going to catch me that wrong time of the month, and forgive me for those that like, whatever, we grown. But you're going to catch me at the wrong time where I done had a bad day and you come with that foolishness. I'm going to be like, go get therapy.com.
I know that's right.
I'm going to soften it up by adding a .com at the end. Go ahead, Queen Shannon.
I just have to say, I agree with both of you. I do. I'm going to try, for a while, and always try to help you see the brighter side of life, and to understand that your gratitude will change everything, and, all those things. But after some time, what you're going to start to hear is me say nothing, because I will I'll just be quiet. You there? Yep. You ain't got nothing to say? Absolutely nothing. Because like Queen Valencia said, you're not going to pull me down with that.
Right.
You're not going to pull me down. And although I don't claim to have ADHD, I will conveniently get ADHD at that moment and be all over the place in my head. And I'm not, like, at some point, I think for me, I begin to understand that maybe this person is just not one that I'm supposed to help.
Yep.
I'm not saying that there's no help for them, but this is not my assignment. I have some assignments, but this one ain't one. And I got to let it ride. ADHD at that moment and be all over the place.
That's all I can say. Okay, so when we flip to parenting, how because parenting is a relationship as well, and all of us are moms. Do you think that you can be a great parent with low self-esteem, or how do you look at that relationship as far as teaching your child to be confident, like, have high self-esteem, rock the world, and you round there with bonnets, and I hadn't brought up bonnets in a while, but you round with bonnets and pajamas on, woe is me, depressed, I hate the world. So how do you expect your child to grow up with a healthy mindset? It's like generational dysfunction. They see you like that, they gonna think that's normal. They gonna start dating a girl like that and everything else, and it's generational foolishness because mama should have cut it off. Queen Shannon, I'm gonna let you touch on that first, because we know Queen Lavon opinion.
And I actually touched on that a little earlier. I will say it's possible. However, I believe for that child it's going to be a bit more difficult. They can find their path, they can get to self-love, but I think it would be a whole lot easier if they have a parent that is already functioning in self-love. because as I said, children learn from what they see. We can tell them all day, baby, I want you to love yourself, and especially little girls, don't let no man take control of you. Boys, always take care of yourself. But if they sit and they watch us, what are we showing? What do they see from us? Are they always seeing, mommy letting, all these people, whether it be male or female, just take advantage of her, take and pull from her. And she's always, she smiles through it, but at the end of the day, she's hurting. Because what we can try to do, and what a lot of us try to do, is we try to smile through the pain in front of our children as if they're blind. Let's keep it clear, especially young children, they see spirit better than you see it. So they can for real see your for real spirit and what you feeling when you have no idea that they know what they're looking at. So yes, they see you hurting. Oh, I never cry in front of my children. You don't think they know this?
Right.
They know about that. So they can see, they can learn from that. They understand that. Here's the thing that for me that makes a big difference as far as loving myself and teaching my child. Because what I've heard people say, well, my children come first. My children come first. And absolutely they do. Now, but there's it's a small little piece in there that for me, and if I want to make sure I explain this right, because I don't look at it as he comes first, then I come, because he is me.
Right.
So there is no separation. There is no, I love him first and then I love me. No. When I say I love me, that's him. Because he is me. That's a part of that's I birthed him out. So there is no separation. And at the end of the day, we fine, we want to provide for our children. We want to do these things for our children. We want to do that. But we want to make sure that we give them a firm foundation of what self-love is. Show them what it means to say, I got to take a mental day. What does that mean? That means it's just about me for right now in my head, because all the other stuff got to go. If that means I got to shut the phone off. Show them what those things look like. Show them what it means when I say, for me, I have self-love also incorporates spirituality. Nope, today I'm just going to focus on my meditation. Today I'm going to just focus on me and God, getting, strengthening that connection. It's about taking care of your physical man. I can't say that I love me and teaching my child to say to love, and yet he sits and watch me eat all kinds of stuff that's going to clog my arteries and kill me and drag me down, and not do the thing that I know that I can do to keep my body right and functioning properly. So when I work out, my baby work out with me. Oh yeah, you coming running with me. You need to understand this is not just something to be cute or to deform or form a body for image. It's about being a healthy person holistically. There is no separate entity. So I can be a better parent in my mind. I can be a better parent if he sees me fully blossom. If he sees me fully blossom and focused and doing what I can do for me and for him, that helps instill in him, this is what my mama did. Not so much what she said. This is what she did to make our life better, to help her stay here with me a little bit longer. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to keep my temple clean. I'm going to keep my spirit right. I'm going to read. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow, because I saw her do those things that made her a happier individual, which made her a better person for me. That's my opinion.
Hashtag amen.
Amen.
Then she going to sip. Well, we know it's not Kool-Aid.
It is hibiscus tea made with fresh hibiscus leaves.
Isn't that a plant?
It is. It's a flower.
Queen Lavon.
It's so messy.
Isn't she?
Go leave it right there.
Exactly.
Ooh, this is why the debate for us to even do Facebook Live shows was long, months long.
Yes.
Because we don't know how to act generally, but we have great discussions that women and men need to have.
Definitely when man call it a call back now.
Wait, what?
Please, God, no. Please, no.
But when as my love of self, as my self-esteem rose in how I express that, I saw the change in Cameron.
Exactly.
And if for no other reason in the world I learned to love Valencia, it was for that alone. Like, he didn't have whatever issues I had, so why give him the issues I had? You know what I'm saying?
That's it right there.
So,
that right there.
you know, and really that's what we're doing. And people are funny, and they would say things about, you know, Cameron being spoiled, or Cameron being this and Cameron being that, and I would correct them directly in front of Cameron. No, Cameron is exactly who he's supposed to be. So I think a lot of times other people try to break down self because they don't want you to get, you understand what I'm saying? You know, it's like them little slick comments that not just people your child's age would make, but other people will make, trying to take them down a peg. But understand the kind of mama he got. I leave notes. I let him know, not only are you smart, I tell my son he handsome. I mean, yes, you tell your kids you smart. What they say on the help, you is smart.
You is smart. You is special. You is important.
And then add on the end of that, you is handsome. Is pretty.
Yes.
That's gonna work on their self-image. Go ahead, Queen Lavon.
I love that. Exactly. You have to feed that spirit for our kids, that self-image. You have to water it. You have to feed it. It has to be nurtured, because we live in a day and an age where social media, society will destroy a self-image if you are looking to that and you allow that to tell you what pretty is, you know, what beautiful is, what smart is, you know, what you should look like. So that is, oh my God, I totally agree with that, because it is something that our kids don't hear a lot of. I mean, you know, to actually tell your child, you know, you're beautiful, you know, you're special, you know, I love you.
Right.
Those are things parents have gotten away from, because sometimes we feel that, well, they know I love them because I give them stuff. Your kids have to hear that. You know, they need to hear those words. So we have to, and we have to cut down and watch. I love what Queen Valencia said. You have to watch those people that come to try to cut down your child's image. And a lot of times it don't even have to do with your child, but it's a way to get to you, because people will say those type of remarks and they think that it's on the slide. But something I shared with a friend a couple of weeks ago, what I tell her is that what you have to realize, and one thing I've started telling my kids, you know, y'all hear me saying about dimming your shine, you know, there's a light in each of us that burns, that shine, and that's illuminated, and that those people that are meant to be connected to us is going to be drawn to.
So, y'all drawn to my light?
Here she go. Of course we are, honey.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have to keep that light burning because someone is needing to see it. But what we have to realize is that as we become more self-confident, as we begin to love that person we're seeing in the mirror more, that light is going to begin to shine even brighter. And what some people don't like is when that light begins to shine, they get upset at the fact of what they are able to see, because now you've illuminated and they can see their mess. They're not mad at you for growing and for doing. They're mad because now you have exposed who they are. Because now they can see the mirror clearly, and they begin to see that they really don't like that person who they're looking at, that image in their mirror. So they will try to do stuff to dim your light so that they don't have to see themselves. So don't allow someone to cause you to dim your light just because they don't like what they see in the mirror. You look in the mirror, you continue to encourage your kids, to motivate them, and you have to pour into them. You don't some random man or random woman in their inbox telling them, oh, you so cute, oh, I love your shape, or I love this, or I like that. That's how our kids, that's how they get got, because they didn't hear it from mom and dad. So
hashtag amen.
You have to do that. And for those our male viewers out there, especially our male viewers, if you have daughters, you need to be exemplifying what the standard that a man should have in her life. You should be bringing her flowers. You should be bringing
absolutely
candy. Her first diamond should come from you. Her first set of pearls should come from you. You set the standard. Don't let some guy off the streets.
She cleaned that up real cute. Real cute.
Don't let
she caught it.
Don't let some, Joe Blow off the street bring her this little diamond ring that is probably a cubic zirconia, because mine better bring it to mama so she can look at it. But
I know that's right.
Bring you something that's shiny, because then they thinking this, oh, he loves me, which starts the foundation for so many domestic violence relationships, because they think he showed me love, he gave me this. Dads, show your daughters the example. And the same thing for moms. We have to show. I tell my son, I was like, I tell him, when you get married, you're gonna be a good husband.
Yeah.
I instill that in. He needs to hear that you're gonna be a good husband, you're gonna be a good father, you're gonna be a good provider. I teach him how he should treat a woman. We have date nights, and I say, you're gonna get the door for mama. If this was your wife, you would have to get the door for your wife. It's up to us to start that.
Yeah.
We set that foundation.
Yes.
We have to get, and it starts with us. We do. We have to love ourselves and take care of ourselves and build ourselves up to show them what they need and what the way they should be living.
Hashtag amen. And just know, anybody, Shannon, know I'm about to say something crazy, but anybody daughter come dating my son, you bring him something shiny. I'm just playing. Just go ahead, Jesus.
Lord, she ain't ready.
One question,
she ain't ready,
because I be all up in the business. What's her IG page? Let me find out on Snapchat. I forgot what I was gonna say, Lord. But I think
you was frozen.
I think that all of us, from if we start working on self, how we feel about self, it will extend to better and quality friendships, instead of us seeing all these, like we discussed a while back about the circle being a dot. Women can't work together, women this, women that. But see, if I work on me and I'm good with me, and then if I see you not good with you, then I know you're not the person to work with. Ain't no point in posting about it. Just move on.
Absolutely.
It's been plenty of people that drop off the face of the earth for me because I'm good with me. I fought too hard to have a whole picture of self. And if you're not good with this whole self, because y'all know I go from gospel to gangster quick, I'm a different kind of person, but I'm good with me because it took too long for me to love me. And if you want to come in there and try to blow out my candle or something of that nature, guess who getting off the bus? It would be you. And I think people hold on to those bad relationships, whether it's friendships or whatever else, and then you start internalizing it, and then you spewing that into a new relationship or into your kids, all because you didn't start with the foundation of loving self first.
I agree.
That was a
I agree with that.
I
definitely agree with that.
Exactly. Start with self.
I love that. I think that's, besides the hashtag nasty woman spirit, I'm gonna start using that, I promise, on everything I love. So as we get ready to close out, and there will
I think I'm frozen or something.
Well, your picture is, but I could still hear you good. as we get ready to close out, and we probably, like I said, to end up doing a part 2 to kind of get in depth a little bit, because there's so many women and men going through depression and comparing themselves to Photoshop pictures. You know, and they're feeling low about themselves, and then it's affecting their relationships. It's affecting everything around them. And then, you know, you look at depression, which we're going to definitely talk about next month. You look at different things like that, and it starts with working on building yourself. So Queen Lavon, what tip would you like to leave the audience with tonight about how to start building themselves?
If I had to say one thing or tip that would allow you to help build yourself, or if you're on this journey where you wanting to feel more empowered, understand the power of your mouth, being able to speak of yourself. I love to tell people to get in the mirror and look at that woman in the mirror. Look at that man in the mirror. Actually look at her. It's easy to look and say what you don't like, but what I would challenge you to do each day is to look in that mirror and tell yourself something you do like. You may have to start simple with just like, you have pretty eyes. You know what? You keep telling yourself that until you can say, oh, your smile is nice too. But start with that look in the mirror and affirming who you are, who you see in the mirror, and loving that person.
Queen Shannon coming back in.
Yeah, I see.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, am I back?
Yeah.
We actually got two. You got a twin.
I don't know what happened.
Still up. The other one's still up. At least your face looked cute when it froze. That's my one thing. Like, if it freeze, don't let it freeze and I'm looking crazy. Let me see if I could.
You can demote her?
I don't know.
I don't know how that would have happened.
I'm scared to click stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. Okay, so we're talking about the last thing or one step maybe the audience could do to maybe, start working on how they feel about themselves so they could have happy, healthy relationships.
If I would say one thing to do to start working on yourself is be honest with yourself. All too often we're in this illusion of who we really are because of what people told us we should be, or how people told us we should act, or whatever the reason is, but you're not true to you and you feel it. But take the moment and be honest with you. Write down what it is you want. Write down what you see when you look at yourself. And if what you see is not what you want to see, and if what you see is not who you want yourself to be, then start making the necessary steps to change that. I would definitely say prayer is the number one place to start. And even if just to add this piece with relationships, one thing my mother always told me, when her and my father, they have their little things, and she would go pray, oh God, you got to do something about him. She said, and it came to her, no, you do something about you. When you change you, then you'll start to see everything around you change. Yeah. So if there's one thing, be honest with yourself and start to change you. And then you can start to see the quality of your relationships with everyone, not just friends, not just family, your children. Everyone will change when you start to change you.
Y'all gave some great tips. And that's 150% true what both of y'all said. My one tip I would say before we close out, and I want to thank you guys so much for, joining us tonight. We'll be back at it to close out the month of February. I think if my calendar is correct, we'll see. Just stay tuned. Make sure you join us on our Facebook page and Instagram, and leave your comments or questions, and maybe we'll hit this topic again if you have enough questions. But definitely we want to know what you guys think. And I think maybe on one show we touched on like about maybe like you can't heal the world and world peace and all that. You got to start with you. Like, how can I want world peace or peace in my home and I'm worn in the inside of me?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, hashtag amen on that one.
Amen.
So just really think about that. The life that you want starts with you, because you have to deal with you 24/7.
Absolutely.
You know, real quick, I used to hate my lips. My self-image, I know it's crazy to think about that, but I used to just think my lips were just so big. People used to make comments about it. I had big lips before big lips were in. So I always used to try to do my lipstick to make my lips look smaller, which of course didn't happen because I have big lips. And it was when big lips started coming in style. It's crazy. Like, people were injecting themselves and everything else, right? And I was like, really thought about how ridiculous it was for me to hate something about me I couldn't change.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you see me in pictures, I'm glossed up, lip up like you, and they all natural. So kind of look at about that, because what you may not like about you, what's affecting your self-image, self-esteem, anything dealing with self, somebody else would love. And maybe that's the starting point. You know, I'm just saying.
True.
Hashtag amen. So with that being
Amen.
said, thank y'all so much for joining us. Let us know your comments. We'll catch them after we go live and when we cut off. So pens and papers down. Class is officially over.
Thank you for listening. Connect with the show at the Define You Facebook. Until next time, remember your past doesn't define you. It gives you definition, and what you do with that is up to you.